Welcome to Jivan Sutrani, aphorisms on life. So let's sit straight. Take a deep breath. Still body, relaxed and cheerful mind. No past, no future. Entire attention in the present where the breath is moving. Let us chant loudly. If you are muted, you can chant loudly so that the other building neighbor hear. Anyhow, there are a lot of loudspeakers going on, so we can chant this. Words are having a lot of sound vibrations, and this chanting helps us to concentrate the mind and get those vibrations. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om. Akhandamandalakaram vyaptam yena characharam padam darshitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Ajnanatimmirandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Stavaram Jangamam Vyaptam, Yatkinchit Sacharacharam, Tattam Darshitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhusha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Sadashivamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratan Karunamayam Namamityam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram.
Vidya is going to say the first three sutras. So the first three sutras are only few words. And last time we saw that the text what we are taking is Jivan Sutrani. Jivan is life and Sutra is aphorisms on life. And Sutra can be 2 words, 3 words. There is no meter. There is no different poetic tang to this. This is a prose, and these are simple combination of 2-3 words. Every sutra literature, last time we saw there are many sutra literatures, Yoga Sutra, then there is Bhakti, Narada Bhakti Sutra, then there is Brahma Sutra. All these sutras start with Atha. So that is a uniqueness of all sutras. The first word of any sutra is Atha. So these are only combination of few words. So Vidya will just say these first three verses or sutra, and then we will start. So the first one. Vidya, you are muted. Okay, so the first sutra is Atha. You got it? Okay.
अथ जीवन सूत्राणि प्रस्तूयन्ते.
So I will speak on this, then you can say the further one. Okay. So last time we saw that 2 important things that life is going on and what is my life. So any person who is living a life, there are 2 things happening. There is a life happening outside and what kind of life I am living. And this even Sutranis are compositions by Swami Tejomayananda, whom we call as Guruji, and these are reflections on life from a master. And we saw what is Jivan. Jivan is life, and there are various views to life. And Sutra means aphorism or capsule or a short combination of words. And we also saw what are the factors, 5 factors which actually make a sutra. We all cannot write sutra. There are very few people on this planet who have written sutras. So what are the various factors we saw? Alpak, it should have minimal words. Asandigdham, free from ambiguity. Saravat, meaningful. Vishwato mukham, multifaceted. Astobham, without any superfluous words, not even one word, one akshar is there which is extra. Anavadyam, flawless. And we had also discussed that this is how we must start thinking. These are the 5 words where we can master our thinking, because no one teaches us how to think. So this is a pointer for us that how to think, how to speak. We can use these 5 words and which we discussed last time. Now the first verse what Guruji has given is Atha Jivana Sutrani Prastuyanti. So Atha means there are many meanings. Actually, when I went to listen to Brahma Sutra, 1 or 2 days we were discussing on Atha only. So much of knowledge is there on Atha, because once we change the meaning of this, the entire further explanation changes. So Atha means beginning. So now we begin. So now we are going to begin today the Jivan Sutrani. And in Sanskrit, there is no full stop or there is no comma. Very interestingly, when today we read Bhagavad Gita, we say verse number 1, verse number 2. Okay, this is chapter 1 completed, chapter 2 completed, chapter 3 completed. This is the name of the chapter. This is not there in the original Mahabharata. In original Mahabharata, Gita comes in Bhishma Parva or one Parva there, and then it is a continuous dialogue of 1 lakh sutras. In that 700 verses is Bhagavad Gita. So how do we know where one topic is ended, where another topic is started? From these words. Atha means now, beginning, and wherever there is iti, then it is completion. So Jivan Sutranis, aphorisms on life, prastuyante, are presented. So very interestingly, I am not a Sanskrit scholar. There are some Sanskrit scholars sitting here, Suvarna and 1 or 2 people here. So very interestingly, Sanskrit language is basically a language which uses passive voice more than active voice. So here Guru is writing that not that I am presenting Jivan Sutrani to you. Jivan Sutrani Prastuyante, it is presented. And there is no invocation to the Lord. Why? Because Atha word, it has been mentioned that Atha word is the Atha and Om. Lord said and the creation happened. So we believe that Lord said Atha and Om and the creation happened. Not a Big Bang theory that some material came together and then there was a big bang and then there was an accident and then from there water came and then some amoeba came and then some monkeys came and then some human beings came. No, because then in that case life will become an accident. Some people believe no, there is no other theory. We believe that no, this is a continuous process and Lord created this. How did he create? He created by saying Atha and Om. So it is a most auspicious one. And if we actually start thinking, Big Bang theory doesn't hold a lot of logic, because who created that material? Scientists are not saying. And if the starting point is accident, then ending point is an accident. In between our life also is an accident. No, just 2 people came together by accidentally and I was not be a higher purpose in life. No, I got promotion because accident. I got first accident. I failed accident. It cannot be, because accident cannot be the answer for everybody. So here we say that Lord started this creation by saying Atha and Om. So it is auspicious. So it is invocation of the Lord. So there are 66 sutras and 7 chapters. The 7 chapters names we saw last time. What are the 7 chapters name? And they're all related to our life. How to manage relationships, how to manage situations, how to perform to our maximum potential, etc., etc. Now, very interestingly, before we take the first very interesting, very powerful sutra, which is going to come, which is going to give us the first way how to deal with life. What is Vedantic vision of looking at life? But before that, some interesting part about Sanskrit literature. As we mentioned, this uses passive voice. English mostly uses active voice. Whenever books or literatures are written, active voice is used. Those who have done MA, PhD literature, they would know this. And this also actually talks about the whole philosophy. Sanskrit talks about the whole philosophy it is having. For example, what is done is given importance, not the doer. So in Sanskrit literature, the doer is secondary. What is done is primary. So here Guru is writing Atha Jiva Sutrani Prastuyante. So Jivan Sutrani becomes important than the author. Another example, I have thought about it. Tair Sadam was eaten at dinner by me. So here, doer becomes the instrument, main thing becomes Tair Sadam. Active voice will say, I ate Tair Sadam at dinner. Doer is given more importance. So the entire meaning changes, philosophy changes, and in our day-to-day dialogues, the entire context changes. I ate what? Tair Sadam. Tair Sadam, that means Tair Sadam was made and then I ate. It was there for dinner. So very interestingly, this is an example where which goes with our Sanskrit literature, and that's the reason in Upanishadic age, all the masters who composed or who saw that Upanishad as a seer, they never mentioned their name in that, because doer is not important. What is the knowledge? That is very important. So many of our texts do not have a clear author, and there are some kind of debates goes on endlessly. Who would have written this particular composition? So with that background of Jivan Sutrani, we take our first sutra, very interesting. I think I saw Radhika Joshi's name here. This is my favorite question to ask whenever we take a offline class. How is life? Define life in one word. So, in one word, what is life to you? You have only one word to say. You can say that word in your mind. And then after this book is completed, when we learn Vedantic vision of life, our definition would change. And why it is important? Because ultimately our view of life must change. So what is life? Guruji gives this example. Some people say life is difficult. Another person says it is difficult to accept that life is difficult. Then there are various words. You can add on various words into this. What your word for life? Life is easy. Life is very simple. Life is very created. Life is fair. Some people say life is unfair. Life is mess. Life is terrible. Things are happening. And then some people who have read some Puranas, they have been very strong believers that life is terrible. Now, in this Yuga, Kali Yuga, life is terrible. I have not seen what is there in earlier Yuga, but it has been mentioned. Life is very interesting for some people. Life is challenging for some people. Life is a journey for some people. For many, life is boring because no new thing is happening. Life is a problem. Life is a solution because some people are problem oriented, some people are solution oriented. There are people who see problem in every solution, and there are people who see solution in every problem. No, everything is right, tips of happy living, it's nice, all Vedanta is like nice, but my life is different. Life is short, life is long, life is exhaustive, life is miserable, life is thrilling, life is game. Some people say life is a punishment. There's one author's input. This audio is very beautiful. After this class is over, जिंदगी से बड़ी सजा ही नहीं, क्या जुल्म है वो पता ही नहीं. Actually, he talks about highest Vedantic truth, that infinite consciousness coming into such limited body, mind, intellect, that is a big punishment. And what is the mistake? क्या सजा है वो ही पता नहीं. So there can be various views of this life. Why this is important to ask oneself? Because this is Jivan Sutrani. What is my view of life? No, you can say my view of life is all these words together. That is also your view. Very interestingly, what Guruji says is that life is same. The ways of living is different for all. And sometimes we wonder that why people are behaving this way, why people are behaving this way, why I am behaving this way, because my way of living life is different. And why my way of living life is different? Because the truth is our way of life depends upon our view of life. So this book is going to change our view of life. First of all, if my view remains same, the way of living also will remain same. So what is the second sutra? Vidya, can you say?
Yes, sir. यत् ज्ञात्वाभ्यस्य च जीवनं सुखाय भवति.
So yad jnatva vyasya.
Yes.
So some people say that why should I listen to these tips of living written and composed by somebody else? I'm not interested to listen to your view of life. Why? Because I want to live life my way and I want to learn it my way and I will learn lessons from life my way. Why should I learn lessons given on life by somebody else? A very valid question. Why should I learn from your experiences of life? I will go through my experiences of life. So one question is asked and this is an answer for this, which is so true. Guruji would have thought that this would be one of the questions people would ask. Why should I learn tips of happy living from you? There is one joke what it is, because people's views are different and their way of life is different. So I will learn from my own experiences, not your experiences. So one person who went to one shop and he bought 5 lizards, 20 cockroaches, 10 spiders and 1 kilo dust. This is what he bought. So the shopkeeper asked him that this is very, very funny shopping list you have. We are having this, but why are you taking 5 lizards, 20 cockroaches, 10 spiders and 1 kilo dust? He told, I am living in a rental flat and now I want to hand over the flat to the owner. And when I entered the flat, the owner had told me that you have to give back the flat to me as it was there when you are taking. View of life, he is exactly following, because many times it is written in exactly the same condition. Even when some Amazon things come, if it is spoiled and it is not accepted. So this person actually bought all these things, put in house and returned that to them, because when he bought this flat, it was all with 5 lizards, 20 cockroaches. He would have counted. So view of life, way of life. The problem is that when this kind of thought process is there, and there are many people like that, if you call them to learn from a Vedantic, I'm not interested. I will learn from my own life experiences. But then there is a challenge in this, is that though the life is same, my lesson would be different and that lesson can be wrong. I'll repeat. Though the life experiences are same for people, my lesson learned from that life experience would be wrong or it might be faulty. How would I know? How would I know that this lesson learned by me? I am not sharing my lessons. I am not sharing whatever is my experience with this particular situation. So my lessons can be wrong. And if my lesson is wrong, whatever I have learned, then my behavior, my interactions, my happiness will not be up to the mark. There is a saying what Guruji gives: a wise man learns from others' mistake, a fool learns from one's own mistake, and one who is a mahafool, who is a mahamurkha, learns again and again, does the same mistake. Very interestingly, sometimes we will take this topic, which is there in Das Bodh. When I was in college, and mostly in college and working, my father used to read this to me and say that you are falling into this list. So there is a list in Das Bodh given as Murkhanchi Lakshane. What are the symptoms? What are the behavioral patterns of Murkha, stupid? And then another list is very interesting, especially for spiritual sadhak. It comes close. Padatha Murkha Lakshan means one who are educated fools. And it is in Das Bodh, written by Ramdas Swami. Very interesting, very clear, beautiful, minute observations. So this is very important, though this example we have taken many times and appears as a very poor joke, but it is very interesting that one teacher one day brought one alcohol cup or a big, a small cup, and then got some worms and put those worms in the alcohol beaker. And then he said, watch. And children watched. And then he asked, what is your lesson from this experience? Because all the worms died in the alcohol. He was expecting one lesson from this experiment, but one child or student got up and said that every day we must drink alcohol because alcohol kills worms. Now we may be smiling or we may not even be smiling because we have heard this joke many times, but actually this is the reality of life, that when life experiences are happening, what is my interpretation? Some people don't laugh for any joke and they don't tell any joke also. One person went to Nisargadatta Maharaj and told, Maharaj, do you do any miracles? I have come from Himalayas where I seen Swamis doing lot of miracles. He looked at him and told that this entire life itself is a miracle for me. It is a joke happening on humanity. There is no greater miracle than this life. Why I have to do different miracles? This life itself is a big miracle. This life itself is a joke. So that is a danger for many people when we hear that, they don't want to read. They don't want to go to anybody for advice. They don't want to go to anybody for asking for any suggestion. No, I will learn my way. Yes, there is also a possibility. But when we are traveling through a forest where there are wild animals, it is better to take a map. It is better to take some kind of guide. And it is better to take one teacher or somebody who has traveled that forest for many times. So, yad jnatva abhyasach. So, how do we live life and leave life? It is very important for us. Our life must be easy and happy. We therefore must learn and practice. So that is the reason we must learn from these tips, and then abhyasa means we must practice. So that is the answer this text is giving, that why this text should be read. What is the purpose? Pujya Gurudev says a very powerful thing. It is there in the book. Knowing is not doing. Doing is doing. I know that my real nature is Satchitananda. It is happiness. If you ask people, how are you? I am very happy. What is happiness? Happiness is tranquility of mind. Where is it located? Happiness is located inside. But this is all knowing. If we actually see the doing of the person, not even one person says who knows that person that this person actually expresses happiness. No, I know. Happiness I can talk about 1 hour, 1 day. So knowing is not doing. Doing is doing. And then he adds, knowing how to live well is not enough. I have to live well. Anuva veena mana halavu nakore. We must not agree or say yes to anything till we have personal experience. Vivekananda says all the time that never believe anything unless you know it is true and you have experienced it yourself. And it is applicable to this Brahma Vidya also, or any knowledge also. It should become my experience. And we must learn to put these lessons into practice. So, yad jnatva, first of all learn, first of all know, then learn, and then abhyasacha. I must practice, I must put those lessons into action. Then alone life will become simple, easy and happy. So very clear tip for all of us, that first of all I must know life, then I must learn properly, and the learning must not have any error. So one question all sadhaks must ask, that whether my understanding is in tune with what scriptures have said, and I must cross-check with the teacher. Many times I say that I do not have any questions. I may not have questions, but I must, whatever understanding I have, I must cross-check with an authority, whether my understanding is in tune, knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. So if you go to Advait master and say that I know Brahman, but I have no experience, the person would say, you don't know only. Your knowledge is faulty. Otherwise, knowing will become being. That means my knowledge is faulty. My knowledge is not practiced. So yad jnatva, knowing, abhyasacha, practicing with jivanam, life becomes sukhaya bhavati. It will become easy and happy. And that is what we want. We want easy life. Why people go to America and abroad? Because there is easy life. If you apply for electricity. If there is no struggle for anything what we want, because things happen smoothly. Here for everything there is a struggle. If the electricity goes, getting an electrician and doing it's a big challenge. But Guruji says that in America there are American problems. In India there are Indian problems. Not that there are no problems there. Their problems are not our problems. So basically what we want is sukha. And I must not only know it, that okay, no, my goal of life is permanent happiness, Paramananda Prapti, and then my real nature is Satchidananda, but I must experience it. Very interestingly, happiness is an acquired habit in day-to-day life. Some people are happy because they are habitual to be happy. Very, very powerful sutra. Some people are complaining by habit because they have got habit of complaining. Whatever I practice, I will become master of it. If I practice anger, anger will become my second nature. If I practice frustration, frustration will become my second nature. Happiness is an acquired practice in day-to-day life, and happiness is an uncreated desire. Happiness is not a human-created desire, because happiness is my real nature. And though it is my real nature, why I am not experiencing happiness? Because I am not doing abhyasa of being happy. I am doing abhyasa of anxiety. I am doing abhyasa of nervousness. I am doing abhyasa of worrying too much. I am doing abhyasa of being fearful. So, yad jnatva, first know and then do abhyas. So now, very interestingly, before we complete the first sutra, it is very, very interesting. 15 minutes are going to happen. But before that, in Vedanta or in our Shastra, we must know what is the Anubandha Chatushtaya of every text. What is Anubandha Chatushtaya? Very, very important. After today, any text we are going to pick up, we must know these four things. In the beginning and in the last, I must know what is Anubandha Chatushtaya of Brahma Sutra, of Upanishad, of Bhagavad Gita in 4 lines. So what is the Anubandha Chatushtaya of this book? Tips for happy living. Subject matter. What is the subject matter of this? Not how to stitch good clothes or how to create sambar rasam. It is not a pottery book. It is not a food book. It is not a tailoring book. It is not an engineering book. Lessons on life, on experiences in life. Subject matter is life and experiences in life and lessons from that. That is a subject matter. Result. What is the result I am going to get? Knowing and practicing which life becomes easy and happy. That is the sutra here. Yad jnatva abhyasacha sukhaya bhavati. Adhikari. Who is Adhikari? All these 51 people, 52 sadhaks who have locked in. One who is keen on living happily. I am fed up with anxiety, fear, worry, irritation, frustration, sadness, depression. I am bored with it. This is very, very important. Today, people say that stress has become a part of our life. Stress is not part of our life. Stress is something foreign. I have a friend, I remember still long time back, her daughter told her, and she was lying on the bed. Her daughter was lying on the bed. So mother asked, no, it's 6:30 in the evening. Why are you lying on the bed? She's telling, I am giving rest to my back. I am resting my back. 7-year-old girl is telling, because she has heard from the parent, it has become a norm that my back needs rest. If the back is kept vertical, back doesn't need rest. Back only needs rest when we are sleeping. Back pains because I am not keeping in the vertebral column is not straight. So it has become a kind of norm. So who is keen on this? One who wants to change now. Fed up with this quality of mind. And what is a relationship? This is the key here. This book is going to give me tips to happy living. So I am listening this. So I want to attend this. So this is very clear. Anybody asks you, what are you going to do? What are you doing from 7 to 8, 7:45? 4 things I must say. This is a book, subject matter. This is the result and I am eligible for this because I want to learn how to make my life easy and simple. And this book is going to give me tips, simple 4 things, and then people will come. There is a joke, but we will take it later on. Okay, all these things are there, but today we have 10 minutes. Please start. Give me one lesson to aaj karo. Okay, first lesson, very important. So next sutra, third one. Jivane. So please listen to this sutra. This is brilliant sutra, and today suppose we get this in 10 minutes, our life will be changed. Yeah. Jivane.
जीवने द्विविधं कार्यं प्राप्त परिस्थिति प्रतिकारः स्वभविष्य निर्माणं च.
So Jivane means life. So in life, there are 2 things which are imperative, 2 things which are unavoidable, 2 things which are most important, 2 things which are undeniable truths in life. In my day-to-day life, 2 things are imperative. Imperative means commandments. This is how it is. Most critical aspect in my day-to-day life. This is where Guruji's brilliance comes. Third sutra itself is given where we can discuss so many things on this. So what are the 2 imperative things? Dvividham karyam. There are 2 imperatives, 2 essentials. And see how a master thinks about life. And this is where we can learn the best from our masters who has given this kind of sutras, because how they analyze life, how they see life is in a different perspective. We get so engrossed in our life that we don't see these 2 truths. So imperatives. First, prapta paristhiti pratikaraha. So now the first truth is that there will be situations coming, situations will be coming, situations will be coming, situations will be coming. That is life. One after another, situations will be coming. This is a class situation. How to deal with class situation, I must know. After the class situation is over, dinner situation will come. Then there will be sleeping situation. Then there will be dealing with husband situation, dealing with wife situation, dealing with mother-in-law situation, dealing with mother situation, dealing with office situation, dealing with neighbor situation, dealing with society, dealing with going abroad, going here. Everything is a situation. So from now, very, very important practice that I must see everything as a situation coming in my life. How this listening situation, I must be able to focus. I must complete all my work before this, cutting vegetables, watching WhatsApp, and then side by side TV, one serial is going on. No. I want to deal with this situation fully. Now that is number 1. Second, prapta paristhiti means these situations are not in my control. So now here one of the best sutras are coming, because I have heard Guruji talking about it in highest text, and one of the lectures he had taken long time back where somebody had called him to speak on in 1 hour what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. 1 hour only. And he started with this, that life is equal to situations. Situations come, prapta paristhiti. So that is a imperative, undeniable truth. Even if I die tomorrow, it will become a situation for another 20 people, because they have to get together and then tie the toes and then burn. Situation. So that is the first thing I must practice, that everything I must be able to segregate as a situation. Very important factor. I must not mix up situation. This is a very important factor. I must not take office to home and home to office. Many people who go to office and then they discuss home. When they come home, they discuss office. Okay, I'm not working, so this example is not applicable to me. When I go to market, I talk home there. And when I come home, I talk about market. So this paristhiti is basically are coming one after the other, and there is no choice for us which paristhiti will be next moment. Mata Amrutananda May gives one example which is so powerful. I had heard long time back that one person thinks of going for abroad and makes for preparations for long, and then so many celebration days, and the person takes the suitcase and just comes out the door, and the lift is on some few steps, and he slips on the floor, and then gone, all trip gone, all everything gone. One moment life is changed. Paristhiti changed. So one first truth is that, imperative truth is that situations will come continuously and I must deal with them because I have no choice. And second thing is that I have no control on any paristhiti. So these two words are very important to practice. There is a situation, there is a choice I have. There is a situation, there is a choice. I do not have a choice what situation should be next. Even if I plan completely that this resort must be like this place must be like this eating must be like this, there when I go there, paristhiti will be different. So no choice. So this is a imperative truth what Guruji is saying, that different situation comes unasked, uninvited. Categories of situation: pleasant, unpleasant, wonderful, boring, testing, gainful, painful. We have no choice. We have to face them. I'll just complete this. Our choice is how to face, how to respond. So there is a book I would recommend if you get some time, sometime, you can read that book by Viktor Frankl. He writes in that book, between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. And in that space, there is a choice. And in that choice lies our growth and freedom. And why it is important? Because he was captured by his enemy and had kept in a refugee camp, and they were tortured. We just can't imagine what could be the torture. Many people in his camp died. And he told he survived and he went back to his family because he discovered this truth. What Dante is saying is that there is one choice we have in life. One choice God has given. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Karmannevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. One choice he has given. That one choice for human beings is that I have a choice how my response will be to this situation. So first of all, I must be able to discriminate between the stimuli and response. And in that space, I will discover whether I can interpret that knowledge, interpret that experience, interpret that situation from Vedantic point of view, and then respond to that situation. This choice only human beings have. The book is Man's Search for Meaning. Beautiful book. Beautiful book because it gives a lot of life situation where the person went through. He told, I was tortured, I was abused, I was hit, I was not given food, but one choice I discovered that I can interpret the whole situation and respond in a pleasant way, and he survived. He told many people died because they imagined that there is no end to this refugee camp. This situation will not end, and they died just by imagination. So our choice are following. Either we can stumble with a situation, grumble, crumble, or we bounce back and march ahead. So I think today we can only cover this till 6:45. So one of the learning is that we have no choice on situations. We have no choice how our husband, children, mother-in-law, father-in-law, neighbors, people are going to behave with us. We have actually no choice on majority of the things. Majority of the things we have no choice. next moment, what is going to happen in our inside body, the heart is going to function or no, brain is going to function or no, we don't know. But we have one choice, and if we can implement that one choice, one small choice, our life will become easy and happy. That's Sutra. And that choice, that how I'm going to interpret that situation, how I'm going to respond to that situation, and how am I going to bounce back or make that situation happy and easy. And these are the sutras which are going, Guruji is going to give a lot of tips on this kind of things, and very, very practical, very, very powerful. And that choice, the day we lose, we will be going into Vinashati. Will perish. Our life will become complicated. Life will become difficult. We will become a problem to life. And to complete, this space is our Vedantic vision, where in that space we have a choice. So this space we have to develop. This space is the Vedantic vision, where we will develop in the tips for happy living. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much.